go.
Hey,
Look at us. Look at us. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Rise League weekly show. My name is Colin Pierce, and with me tonight is none other than my good friend, Pork Pie. I mean, Derek.
Odd job, my man.
No, I love the hat.
I'm glad to be here. You know, I thought it fit the occasion. I know we're trying to start this new show off being pretty classy, and as the Rise League is and has been through week one. So I'm just here to meet the level.
Yeah, this is a classy show, and may I say the first sober show that we have put on. I don't know what you're drinking tonight, but
water.
I've got myself a sparkling grapefruit.
I mean, some might say that may make our reporting and recap probably a little better than usual,
or worse,
or worse. Maybe not as entertaining.
It really is hard to say.
Less for the entertainment.
Time will tell, though, won't it?
I guess so. We have 5 weeks of this. Buckle in.
We do.
It's going to be a fun ride.
Or run away. But
run away.
Regardless, we will plan on being here typically every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. However, last night I had some personal things to take care of, but that's all tucked away and ready to go.
Colin,
I'm excited.
The best thing worth waiting for. So it's okay. It happened on Wednesday.
Yeah, like losing your virginity.
Anyway, keep going.
Anyways, we have a lot of fun things to cover tonight, a lot of segments. We've kicked off the second season of the Rise League, and it seems like we've got a lot of involvement and a lot of hype behind it this year, and I love that.
I think so. I think you're right. This might be the second season, but I think it's going to be the best season we've had so far. The hype behind these teams, the involvement by the players is at an all-time high. And on top of that, the level of gameplay, which we'll get into in a little bit, was at like top tier for a developmental league leading into the main thing. I think we got quality this past week.
Yeah, we've got a lot of fun things to go over. But before we jump into football, let's thank our producer for tonight, Cameron Curtis, for putting in some hard work behind the scenes. Really glad that he is
absolutely
enjoying himself with the WFA and doing this with us for fun. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Leave comments in Gen Chat on the episode on what you liked, what you like to see in the upcoming weeks. When you see these visuals, I think you all are going to be blown away. Our producer did a fantastic job. Honestly, top tier stuff, maybe compared to what you're used to seeing. I'm impressed by a lot of what everyone's going to see tonight. So let us know. We only know by what you tell us.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's not wait any longer. Let's go ahead and talk about week one.
Week one. What a week it was.
But it was not a good week for the Raleigh Mighty Oaks.
I don't think they were very mighty this week. They were saplings this week because those oaks got chopped down. The Freeze stomped all over the Oaks in this one. The stat line and the score itself, pretty much paints the picture. It looks like it would, like you imagined it would.
Yeah, and Raleigh not scoring any points until the second half. It's hard to win a ball game if you only score points in the second half. But man, Fargo showed up on offense and on defense all the way around. Looked like probably the front runner right now in Rise League, in my opinion.
I think even though we haven't talked about the other two games yet, which were quality, it goes without saying the Freeze right now are the dominant team in the league. They are the guys to catch up to, just like Raleigh tried to play catch up in this game and it just didn't work for him. You can't hope to win a ball game trying to plan a comeback and not being able to put up the offensive numbers for it. It just doesn't work that way.
And quarterback Ryder Chisholm had a difficult time mounting this comeback. He had one touchdown for the night, but threw 4 interceptions.
That's not how you win a ball game right there.
QBR of 51.1. Oof. What do you got for Fargo?
Let me bring up, week one of the show issues. Let me get to the right page here so I can give you the most accurate stuff that I have here.
We've got a lot of good stats.
We
with
do.
the
We
league
do.
right
And
now.
I want to make sure. So for you say for Fargo.
For
Sorry,
Fargo.
I just talked about Raleigh. I mean, it was dominant on all sides of the ball, starting with Admiral Cash coming out being cash money. 21-27 at a 77% completion, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only sacked twice. Like, came out just slinging it. And honestly, the other person on offense that you have to highlight for the Freeze is running back Capaldi Romano. I mean, the man ran all over the Oaks. He did great. 150 yards on 21 attempts. Solid day for a running back with tack on 2 touchdowns into that as well.
The Mighty Oaks had a difficult offseason. They had the last pick for each position of the draft. So they are dealing with, unfortunately, what we would consider the misfits. So they've got a long road ahead of them. But Fargo looking good.
And maybe they can improve and learn some stuff for this. Because you're not going to be facing the Freeze every week. So there's still hope. But, yeah, they got some work to do.
Yeah. Next game, I think we're heading to Thunder Bay.
Thunder Bay, home of the Dragons.
This was a good game.
This was a good game, back and forth the entire time. It clearly goes to show, and, I was able to catch a good portion of this game live. The Beavers came out strong defensively in the first half. And unlike the Oaks, like we talked about in the last bit, Thunder Bay mounted a comeback. They tried. They overcame. They learned some stuff at halftime, and they came back or attempted to come back. But that defense was stout.
Yeah, fourth quarter comeback was trying to show its face in that game, but was not quite strong enough. I think it all comes down to the turnovers that Thunder Bay put up. I mean, if you notice, every team that lost this week had a higher turnover ratio than the opposing team.
That's typically how it works in football, Colin.
I heard you got to score points, but also keeping the ball out of the defender's hands is definitely important.
It's a good start.
But both teams, I think, if you look at that third down percent, showing that they are having some difficulty moving the ball.
I mean, yeah, and third down is probably the key down. That's why everyone highlights it. It's the money down. And you have to be able to get that good percentage. And for neither team to be over 50%, you got to pick it up. You got to be getting at least one. You want going 1-1 or every other one getting a first down. Your drives are going to go nowhere.
Yeah, I think you need that over 50%. I think that is a low standard for all teams. Have a third down conversion rate of 50%.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you hit the nail on the head earlier too. Is the running backs in this game on both sides struggled, not even breaking 50 yards, either one of them. James Klein Jr. on and there's our is it Long Island here? Who we got? Who's the Beavers running back? Who we got there?
Long Island Beavers running back is
Rudy Barrett. Is both. I mean, again, they gotta learn from their mistakes and pick it up and kind of learn from this game and do better, because you got to be able to run the ball, at least in certain scenarios. You got to run the ball.
Yeah, running the ball is key. But let's talk about real quick the receiving core for Thunder Bay. There was one receiver in particular, Junior Samples, who had over 150 yards receiving in that game, and that's noteworthy in my book.
I mean, yeah, this was on both sides, but yeah, Thunder Bay. The air
here's
raid offense.
Here's the kicker, Derek. Not to interrupt you. 3 receptions for 167 yards.
He was catching bombs. That man was just there all day, just not looking back, straight go. So, I mean, this might be a little early, but for any teams hoping to, in the WFA, hoping to increase their passing game and open up the field a little bit, this might be your guy. It's looking like if you need a go route runner, Junior may be your man.
That is impressive. That is impressive.
55, averaging 55 yards a catch. That is, if you want to put some bombs, if you're looking to open up the offense in the WFA, circle that name. Keep him on your short
Sample
list.
has worked his way up on people's list, that's for sure, with that performance. So
Absolutely.
all right. And the last game of the week, the Grizzlies took on the, how do you pronounce that again,
That's
Derek?
the Vaqueros, Colin.
The
Out of
Vaqueros. You're so,
Tucson. Oh,
you're
you
so
know,
culturally diverse.
educated. I think Vaqueros, much like their mascot, that cowboy on a horse, they came out of the gate moving. Kind of died off in the second half after both teams after the Grizzlies made adjustments and kind of slowed the pace. But the Vaqueros came out of the gate moving, putting up points real quick in the first half.
Yeah, the Vaqueros made up for their lack of run game with the pass game, and with the time of possession was huge for them. But still, both teams under 50% third down rate. So,
yeah,
week one.
Both.
It's just week one.
Teams are going to grow. They're going to learn the playbooks, and it's going to get better. The thing is, and the interesting thing is, obviously, the Vaqueros came out and threw the ball way better than they ran, clearly with Nolani Malali. Oh, wait, no, they ran really well. Never mind. I take that back. They were probably the most even team. I misspoke there. With the Vaqueros having 131 rush yards.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I misspoke then. So
yeah, but like this is probably our most even team, going with a solid pass game of almost 300 yards and then 130 yards or a little over 300 yards passing and 130 yards rushing. So a balanced attack all the way around. Because I was looking at the wide receivers numbers and pretty spread out. 103 for Wolfgang Moeller. Walter Fox with another 90, and Joe Pierce bringing up the rear with 9 yards receiving.
Oof! With a last name like that, you better step it up.
I mean, that's a legacy pick. A lot of history and a lot of history in the WFA for that last name. Right up there with the Molinos and Stovers and the whole group of them.
Yeah, that was a rough week for my daughter.
Clearly why she got put in timeout. It's fine.
Well, I'm happy with that week one recap.
I like it. I'm excited to see where they go from here.
Yeah, me too. Let's go ahead and head into what we're going to call studs versus duds. So what you
want to explain to the people here
yeah,
what we got
absolutely.
here, how we're making these picks?
So these are the team captains for week one. These were pre-selected before the games happened, and we will be selecting different team captains each week with this same graphic. So we wanted to talk about their performance and see if Derek or I decided if they were starting off strong and were a stud, or if maybe they got some work to do and right now they're dudding out. So that's what this segment is. Let's start with King Jackson. I love the name.
Oh, yeah. But with a name like that, I got to see more from you.
Yeah,
playing more like a peasant. Definitely a dud. I would not say a stud, which is rough because this is the quarterback of your team. You're expecting him to be that guy. And right now I'm just not seeing it. Definitely dud in my book.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel.
Well, 58 pass percentage, little under 250 yards passing, had 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It wasn't awful.
No.
I don't think it's stud worthy.
No,
it wasn't a stud worthy performance, but I hesitate to call him a dud just yet. But if I had to choose, I would rather choose dud than stud. So.
Absolutely. I think you're right. This is an average. This stat line could win you a game, not only in the Rise League, but in the WFA. We've seen it happen a million times. Yep. But as this conversation, I would lean more dud than stud.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, Fargo team captain.
Mr. Baba Yagaya. And you know how I feel about this. We had a conversation before the camera started rolling about this individual. This reads stud. This is an outside linebacker with three assisted tackles, a pass deflection, and an interception. And we know linebacker interceptions are rare. They're not typically known for their hands. I think to name your team captain as a defensive starter speaks volumes on week 1, and I think he showed out.
I agree. He's a stud. Let's talk about wide receiver. This is Jaheim Devontae, and
I think
unfortunately, Devontae had 1 reception for -1 yards.
I think that
I'm not sure what kind of route he was running. I need to go back and watch that. I'm guessing a curl route.
I heard that the Merriam-Webster dictionary reached out to him about using his picture next to the definition of dud, because this is awful. And I get it. This is week 1. Quarterbacks are trying to find a rhythm. You're trying to figure out what works for the team, but you gotta make sure you're getting open. This stat line is not showing separation. This stat line's not showing an ability to make space. It doesn't look like the quarterback could find him all game. And the one time he did, he literally fumbled the bag.
Fumbled the ball. Yeah, I am so sorry if this is a user player. Better luck next week.
4 more weeks.
You got 4 more weeks.
This was not yours. This is not your week.
Okay. This next one is going to be tough. Tucson, their fullback, Vida Boudreaux. Now, I'm not sure that these... maybe they are. Okay, so I only have the rushing. I don't have any rushing stats on Vida, but it looks like she did catch a few passes.
It's looking like the Vaqueros chose to use her more in the passing game than in the run game, which, if they decided that's what worked.
Touchdown already on the stat sheet.
Exactly, which... for what we've seen a lot of times with these coaches and in this league, fullbacks are unicorns. When you show up and you get a good one, it only helps, but they're rare. And they could be a game changer for your team. And it clearly Vida can catch, utilize it like that, but I'd really like to see her run.
I would like to see how many fullbacks in the WFA have had passing touchdowns or receiving touchdowns.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I'm sure it's not much. So that's an impressive stat. I would like to see them maybe give Boudreaux a few attempts with some rushes, some dives, some tosses.
Yeah.
Get her the ball, because to me, she's proven to be a stud.
Yeah, I agree.
And next up, we have Long Island defender Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. I mean, for free safety, pretty impressive. I mean, again, I think most impressive stat line we've seen in these games, no. But I would lean more stud than dud. The 2 interceptions are clutch. If it wasn't for them, I'd be probably not as impressed. But you're back there, and the goal is to make passing hard. And you made it the most difficult it could be by taking the ball away.
2 interceptions, automatic stud.
Really? Your standards are that low?
I guess. I mean, one interception is expected from an average player.
That is true.
Two? I mean, man,
I would love from a safety's point. Typically, safeties are getting up in the box and making some more tackles in the run game. So I'd love to see that a little bit more, especially because I know in this game, both running backs did. I mean, they didn't do great, but they did okay.
Yeah.
And so
Matt Ryan is a free safety.
I know he does play back a little bit more, but I like a safety that can lay the lumber.
Yeah,
me too. I mean, as having a guy in the league myself with my namesake knows how to lay the wood at free safety. I'm kind of have high standards, but again, leaning more towards stud than dud. Solid game, and again,
check mark.
The Beaver put the clamps on right there. So,
and the last captain for week 1 is Justin Reside, tight end of the Thunder Bay Dragons.
What is your thoughts on this one? I'm torn. I'm gonna be honest, I'm torn.
Only 2 receptions, caught 2 out of 3, so he dropped 1. Only had 9 yards, but it was a touchdown.
Okay,
but it was a touchdown, and that, I mean, I'm a sucker for touchdowns and interceptions. I'm sorry, but those seem like really important things in football.
That's true. And again, I guess for week 1 I should be more open because they're learning a playbook. 9 yards just doesn't do it for me. The touchdown's nice, don't get me wrong. And it probably got them within striking distance because Thunder Bay tried to make a comeback in this game. It was in our comeback in the second half, but 9 yards, for just starting tight end, I need a little bit more, but a touchdown's good. Again,
let me ask you this question.
Everyone's learning.
Can I ask you a different question? Would you consider Chandler Huck when he played for Montreal to be a stud or a dud?
That's a good question.
Justin Reside is playing like Chandler Huck right now.
That's fair. He plays a different role on the game because just like Huck back in the day, back in our vintage moments here, back in Montreal, Chandler Huck's main job was to open up space for the running back, and I mean he did run. And he was there to catch some passes and to take some of the heat off of Rivera at the time. But and he could be filling that role, and that's 2 tight end systems are a real thing, so he could be vital in that space. So,
but I get what you're saying.
I would lean towards stud. We'll be nice. I'm being a little bit of a jerk, so we'll be good. I'll give him stud.
You have high standards. See, I'm not an owner anymore. Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah. Now that you're not an owner, you're like, oh, I love everyone. Now that you're not scouting for your own team anymore.
So what we're saying is everybody is a stud except for
we have 2 duds. Jackson and Devontae.
We had 2 duds. I did see a message come across the chat. We may not be too fair to Devontae because apparently he was injured after that fumble.
Oh, I am very sorry. You're good. You gave it all.
But still, we can't say you're a stud. Even with that being said,
I'm excited to see what you do bouncing back next week, and I'll lay it off. I did not know you were injured. It is a part of the game, but something we hate seeing.
I hope you recover well. Okay, that was good. Let's draw some attention
to the stat assistants here because that was a fumble on our part. We feel like jerks.
Yeah. Oh well, that's okay. We don't care.
It's week 1 for us too.
Let's look at the bottom of this screen here, Derek, and let's just talk about how sexy this little.
This is nice.
I don't even know what you call it. The banner, the rotating banner. We're hoping that every week you'll be able to watch the top 5 of the leaderboards. There's only 6 teams, but for some positions like this, good. top 5 sacks, that could be more than just 6 players. But so this is really neat.
It.
Also,
this is a nice piece. It just looks good.
It looks really good. And there's also some news that comes across here too. I don't know if you've caught the news segments tonight, Derek. Here we go. Wide receiver Mr. Montana released on bail.
Oh, golly.
He's in trouble. Early mock draft projects Darrell Stewart top overall pick.
Oh.
Is that magic or mockery? And this one. Mr. Thompson is going to the Crabs. Is he itching to play?
Ooh.
So I love it.
Man, I love it.
I love it.
I mean, the Rise League and soon WFA is just full of news and headlines, and I love it. That's what makes the league so great.
Yeah, but that is a really cool feature that Cam has put up for us. So really cool. Just wanted to draw some attention to that. But now let's put the spotlight on our favorite players from week 1. Offense and defense.
Yes.
players. One offensive player, one
players
defensive player.
Yeah, for each.
Rise player of the week.
I mean, do you want to lead on this one? Because we talked about this, and for the people at home, we actually came to an agreement without talking beforehand and revealing this. We found out our offensive player of the week is one and the same.
Yeah, it is a man who is averaging 7.1 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns already in week 1, and had 150 yards rushing. And that's none other than Mr. Romano.
Yeah, Burr, it's golden here. The frees are in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? He ran all in there. No, but he did. He showed out. When I truly would say he was the top offensive player on the top offensive team of week 1. He set the tone. He came in and did well. So again, I think the quarterback put in a good word for offensive player of the week, but
Oh, I think we lost Derek.
the player of the week in week 1.
Oh, there he is. Okay, he's back. So, but yeah, it was a unanimous decision for Mr. Romano to be offensive player of the week for week 1. But we did have a difference in opinion on the defensive player of the week.
We did indeed. Would you want to go first? You want me to talk about? You want to talk about yours, or you want me to talk about mine?
I can go ahead
if you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Deal. You don't even have to show me yours.
That's pretty impressive. You probably want to see it.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Anyways, I found, after digging, looking at some stats, watching game film, I mean, hours and hours of game film to really narrow down who I thought was the defensive player of the week. And in my humble opinion, this man was one of only a couple defensive backs who had 2 interceptions. But he led those people who had 2 interceptions. He also led those in tackles. So my pick goes to Ed Diggs, safety.
Edward Diggs, okay.
For Tucson.
I like it. Solid player all the way around. I mean, again, and you are a slut for interceptions, so when you have the top guy getting picks, it makes sense. But he did. He had a solid play. I recognize that as a solid player for week 1 and deserving. And you might have dug deep and watched a lot of film. I dug really shallow and picked what was right in front of my face. And it's not this man came right off the stud list because to me, he was the most impressive defensive player of the week. And the most impressive defensive player of the week on the most impressive offensive team of the week being captain Baba Yagaya.
Wow.
I mean, again, the stat line for this linebacker, like we talked about in studs versus duds, 8 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles, a pass deflection, and an interception return for 15 yards.
Yeah.
It's impressive from the linebacker position.
It is a well-rounded stat sheet for week 1.
Week 1.
Without
he came
a
out
doubt.
the gate ready to go.
Very
so again,
good.
Did I dig too deep? And I'll promise in future weeks to dig a little deeper and find the hidden gems here so we can give everyone the recognition. But for week 1, he just showed up and showed out, and I felt he needed the recognition.
Yep. All 3 well-deserved players of the week. But now we are on the verge of starting week 2. Is going to be our faces are here. Okay. I'm cool with this. This is fun.
Moving all over.
All right. Cam, I don't know if you can hear us, but if you can, whoever we pick to win, you should put us on that side. So put us in the middle. Put us in the middle right now. Put us in the middle, and then when we just drag us, put us in the middle there. Okay. So, just for clarity, Grizzlies are 0-1. Long Island is 1-0.
That is correct.
Why don't you go ahead and give your pick before I
Ooh.
give mine?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Long Island will also be home, hosting all the teams on these graphics. The right side is the host team.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go for the upset here. I think Boise. I think it's a game. I think it's a Kings game, led by Jackson, Washington. Pull off the upset win over the undefeated Beavers. They pound those Beavers next.
All right, I'd love to see it.
I bet you would.
I'd pay for that. I'd pay at least $4 for that. Now I will say that this may just be happenstance, but when I got dressed for this evening, I also had my jacket, had my suit. In my suit were some souvenirs left from a wedding I attended a few months ago. And I just want to say that the color scheme fits perfectly for my pick. As I say, go Beavers! Go Beavers! Beavers are going to rock them. They're going to continue their dominance. And we'll go 2-0 after week 2. So.
I like it. Again, I think it could be an interesting game plan. And I think this game could go either way. But I think it'll be a battle. I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yep. All right, let's see who is next on the matchup list.
Oh.
All right. So
Colin,
he hasn't switched it over yet. They can't see yet. Here we go. Okay, Thunder Bay and Raleigh Oaks. The only thing that the Oaks have going for them right now is that they're the home team. And we know that those Raleigh Mighty Oak, that fan base is nuts. Literally.
I see what you're doing. It's a little acorny, but good joke.
Both teams are going to be desperate for a win here. I'm going to say that I think Raleigh is going to want it more. And I'm going to go with the Mighty Oaks.
Yeah. You know what? And I appreciate your candor and your belief in those Mighty Oaks, but the Dragons are going to burn that whole forest down. This might be ugly. I have no belief in that. I am very confident that this Thunder Bay team, led by Vaughn Jones, takes it to the Oaks, and they become the Thunder Bay Lumberjacks come this weekend.
Well, they have the weapons, that's for sure.
They do.
That's for sure. And the last matchup for the week is the Fargo Freeze going to Tucson. And I mean, do we even?
Before we make your pick, I am confident in saying this is probably going to be the best game of the weekend. 2 undefeated teams, 2 teams that did fairly well on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. It's hard for me to ignore the 43 points that Fargo put up last week.
Yeah.
But it's a long flight to Tucson, I would imagine.
Yeah, and into the desert. I don't know how well the Freeze does in the heat, because you're not in Fargo anymore. I'll go ahead and make my pick. Again, I'm going call me. Maybe learn from previous segments. Maybe I was too hard. So we're going for the upset. The Vaqueros upsetting the Freeze. Freeze go to the desert and melt. I'm expecting big games. I'm expecting a big game out of Joe Pierce. I think they let the lineage down. She's gonna make up for it this game with some big catches. And in turn, I think the Vaquero defense steps up, and we see a lot of Mr. Gunter Legg, the Freeze's punter, on the field a lot.
Maybe it's another color scheme thing for me, but I think Fargo's going to stand up to the heat of the Valcarez or whatever they're called.
Valqueros, you can't even remember their name.
Whatever. And quarterback Admiral Cash is going to continue to be cash money, throwing dimes, maybe quarters down the field. And Romano is going to keep doing Romano-like things, and whatever that means. And
It's kind of cheesy.
Fargo is going to kick their butt.
Fair enough.
So,
this is be a good game. I'm definitely going to be tuning into this one.
yep, I agree. Okay, very good. Let's talk real quick.
Some segment I was looking real forward to.
Final Four hasn't even started yet. I think it's tonight, actually. I think the Final Four
starts tonight.
Starts tonight, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
None of it matters. Everybody's brackets are busted. Everybody has scored as many points as they're going to score, and the results are in. Congratulations, Derek.
Well, thank you. Finally learned I could win something without the help of Colin Pierce. It's great. And I have big plans for this Mr. Irrelevant pick. You don't know how excited I am to make the last pick in this draft. I'm excited to see. So to all of you folks in the Rise League that come back and watch this or who are listening live, do your best. I could pick you very last in the draft. So I need you to play your hearts out. Maybe you too can come to Santa Fe with the Mr. Irrelevant pick.
Yay. Yay. Well, congratulations, Derek, on your extra pick in the season 10 draft. And we're going to make a quick announcement
for
football,
the... You don't know me. You don't know me.
For the team owners in season 10, free agency is right around the corner. We are going to officially start free agency after the final game of week 2 for the Rise League. Ooh. So as soon as that game is over,
right around the corner.
As soon as that game is over, free agency will begin. That is a week-long event. So
yeah,
that'll be fun.
For all you new owners out there, let me let you know. You might not think you need to check this daily. I learned last year, my first year as owning a team, I lost out on some prospects by not checking this daily. I think we had a vacation that weekend, and I was trying to keep up with it on my phone, and I kind of got behind. It obviously worked out, did some okay things this season, but a few pieces that I missed out on might have secured some things for me.
Yeah. Yep. Check it every day. Ask questions if you aren't sure about something.
Absolutely.
So we'll be happy to help you. But that will start, I'm guessing, Saturday night. That will open up. So we'll make an official announcement in the Discord channel for that. But that concludes our first live show for the Rise League. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. It was super refreshing for me to be hands off on production and just sit here and goof off. I think Derek's frozen. Nope, there he is. Derek,
I'm here.
Did you have a good time?
Solid first week. Pumped for it. Can't wait to be back next week and talk about everything that went down this weekend and goes down. But I'm pumped for it. It's been great. Appreciate you. Appreciate Cam. It's been great. I love having all these balls behind my head.
Super big shout out to Cam Curtis for his production. I think each week you're going to see something. I mean, this is just something that's going to get better and better. It's already amazing, way better than anything I've ever put together, and it makes me super excited. It's awesome. It is. This is just so cool. And also a big shout out to Rise Commissioner Zach for all his hard work.
Shout out to the bowler lover in the chat. Someone loving the hat.
What?
It's a bowler hat, bro.
Oh, yes. So, anyways, we're hoping that maybe as we get all this figured out, that we might be able to bring some people on for some interviews. That could be cool. Something we could do in the future. But I think this was very successful first go.
I agree. See you all next week.
Yep, we'll be back next week, Tuesday, 8